Get started. Morning,
Good
um,
morning.
Ms. Deadwyler. So this is our post conference, and I must say I've enjoyed this process. Being a first year coach, it was new to me, but I've kind of enjoyed the process of the peer observations and coming in. So before we kind of get started and looking at the data and discussing what we did along the way, tell me how you felt about the process with the peer observations and the observations and things like that.
Mm, well, at first, I don't think I really understood, hold on for 1 second, the importance of the observations, the peer observations, or the value of it. But over time, I really appreciated it. And I know that I've grown a lot as a result of our coaching and those observations as well.
Okay.
Basically,
Well, I will agree. So I am looking at your middle of the year iReady data, and I see that you had a 101% median growth. So awesome job. And I believe that was the highest on your grade level for your reading growth. So congratulations on that.
thank you.
I think your experience in third grade and now being in second grade contributed a lot to your strategies and things. So let's go back and let's talk about our first observation, just kind of giving a recap. When we went into Miss Adams' kindergarten class, we observed her phonics instruction. Um, as I am looking at our debriefing form as well as just give me a little a summary of what you found most valuable from that particular observation.
Hold on for 1 second. Okay. So, whose class did we do first?
Miss Adams' class.
Okay. So when I went into Miss, hold on for 1 second. They sent a student from third grade. I think he went away. When I went into Miss Adams' class, she really was running what I like to call advanced kindergarten. She had a lot of really good strategies. Her students were paired instead of grouped. I do believe that she has the reduced class model on her grade level. I noticed that with the pairing versus the grouping, there were opportunities for peer tutoring, just better classroom management. The students were all actively working and on task. Um, and I love that she used her Mimeo and she, engaged the students through Mimeo. And it just made me realize I should have continued to do that because I was doing it at one point. I was doing it with the panel board. And then when we first got the Mimeo, I was doing it. But then I stopped. And so that made me, observing her made me realize the importance and the value, of using the Mimeo and presenting the content through Mimeo.
Okay. I agree. It was very, very engaging. That was like AP kindergarten. It was fun. One thing I noticed that you all did do similar was your morning message. So I know in Miss Adams' class, we observed her having the kids to recognize any errors in punctuation, capitalization, and any spelling errors related to the sound spellings of the week. So tell me how that could be something that you would begin to implement in your class, or did you like the way that they did it? How did you try to implement it?
I did. I forgot about it, but I did enjoy that. It was a way for her to integrate all subject areas into her reading lesson. In a sense, she kind of touched on, I believe she was teaching Dr. Martin Luther King at the time, and she incorporated science, social studies, and reading into her morning message. Oh, and the ELA skills into her morning message. And I found that useful. I said that I would take the same thing. So we get a fluency passage. Well, not but a daily news passage to imagine it is a part of the funding stand and add to it, take away from it, but make it my own and kind of spiral review some of the same skills as, Miss Adams was doing. Forgot
Yes,
about
I did see where she was.
that. During that observation. But it was useful. And I mean, you can use it in any grade level.
Yeah, I agree. And I did like the use of the spire review of not only looking at the current skills, but as a way to kind of go back to those old skills because we don't really want the kids to lose um, those skills as we continue to go out. So our second observation was in Miss Booker's first grade class, and in there we observed small group reading instruction. So tell me a little bit about your takeaways from that observation.
One of the things that I noticed in Ms. Booker's room during her teacher time, she didn't rotate groups. I tend to work on a skill and then work with a group and then change groups. So I noticed that she kept her teacher-led group the entire small group time, but she changed the skills. She worked on spelling. She worked on um, blending and decoding. She worked on, there was a little bit of writing, but she covered various skills in her teacher-led group, which I thought was also useful. Maybe um, I don't know, but one of the things that I took away when I came back, I started to do that in my own room, like with the students that were not passing spelling tests. Just go back and practice in different ways, kind of like what I saw her do.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a good practice of making sure that just kind of giving them that continuous practice. From the looks of it, that appear to be probably like her EIP group. You think?
Well, I couldn't tell if they were EIP or just struggling learners. And so I had to reduce class models. So I have more than two EIP kids, but initially I had two, but because I had to reduce class model, they weren't being served or pulled out. Nobody was pushing in and they weren't being pulled out. And the skills, like they are EIP, and I think it was based on already this year. I don't like really to group them because they're all on different levels. I just find one-on-ones more useful than the grouping of those particular kids. I really couldn't tell, but I just know they were probably I know they worked on identifying letters, letter sounds, nonsense words, just some of those blends and diagrams. I couldn't really tell, but I just thought it was useful. They were kids that needed it. That you could tell that they needed that instruction. They needed that time.
Tell me a little bit more about how I heard you mention that you feel that those students in your room benefit for look from one on one. Tell me what that looks like in your schedule.
Okay, so I started pulling at about 8:05. I do have well, actually, I have my whole group reading at 8:05. So I read for whole group about 8:05 to 8:50, and then I start pulling those kids. Sometimes, like on day one or day two of Imagine It, when I'm doing the audio, I don't have time to pull earlier. But like maybe the third day on a Wednesday, my kids are reading. We take turns reading. Everybody in the room gets a chance to read while they are reading that and not listening to the audio or tracking. Then I pull kids for one-on-one because the room is so diverse. And the kids are on, I don't have very many kids that are on the same level, especially not in reading. So I just find one-on-ones more useful, more beneficial. I had one student that all we've been doing was identifying the alphabet at random and literally working on spelling. I mean, on letter sounds. I had some flashcards that I've been using. I used the Texas Fluency folder and started him at kindergarten. Like right now, there's a list of 10 sight words that he should be able to read or sound out, and he could literally read in is a and of those 10. So that's just one. And then I have one student that's one step up from him. And then I have one ESOL student. Well, I have two, but one that came from Vietnam and was just placed in, the grade based on her age. And that's just all on different levels. So to me, one-on-ones for my lowest students seem to work better than grouping them. I mean, when I group them, I'm sitting here with them, but some of those kids are bored because they're in different levels. Somebody asked me why didn't I send them to other grade levels, like the pre-K teacher even asked, the pre-K students are ahead of some of these students. And plus it's March. I mean, kindergarten, they're so far ahead of some of these students. I just one-on-one works better with not with the majority, but with the bottom five. And so I just work it out. Even if I don't spend a whole lot of time with them, I'm still able to see them every day. And to me, that's more beneficial than just pulling them because they need a one-on-one attention.
Right. So have you ever I know in Ms. Booker's class, in one of her small groups, they were doing something that would look like peer tutoring, where they were reading the book and they were reading in pairs. For those bottom five, do you think that they would benefit from peer tutoring, or do you kind of think that because of their temperament and their skill level, just how do you
I
feel about peer
I
tutoring?
did regroup once I went to Miss Adams' room because she used pairs so that they could peer tutor. She shared her small group plans, and I paired all of my students, and I let the tutor choose who they wanted to tutor, basically mentor mentee kind of thing. And they do various activities, and I do see some growth, but I just rather do it myself to ensure that they're getting what they need. I'm doing it, and I'm also giving the kids a break from me and allowing the students to do it. But sometimes I need those students doing other things. It works. There is some growth, and sometimes kids can relay, well, I guess, yeah, relay content in a way that I can't. So it's beneficial, but I just rather do it to ensure that it's being done and it's being done the way that I want. And I mean, I'm monitoring when they're paired, but I just still like to do it myself.
Okay. So, what would be some next steps for you as it relates to our work together? Um, I know you said that what we've done so far has been beneficial. You've seen the growth. Of course, your already data is proving that the students are growing and they are moving. What would you like to see as next steps in our coaching relationship?
Mm, I guess uh, I'm not really sure, honestly, but I do know that I would like to see maybe how you would facilitate small group. Maybe you could just come in and kind of gauge the students. Like I said, one-on-one is a little bit better than grouping the bottom group, but just to see some of the things that you would do. Like I've observed Ms. Booker in small group, and I do those things. They are beneficial for some, not for all. Some of those, I'm gonna say the bottom five, bottom six, they still have not passed any of the spelling tests. Not even the ones where I use Ms. Booker's strategies. Um, just don't work, and that really doesn't have much to do with me per se. But I just see, that those things aren't working, and I could. One of those students, like she reads sight words well, but just overall comprehension is just not there. Like she may not be able to spell, but she can read all the words, but then she can't comprehend at all, literally. And her mom said, "Oh, she can do this at home. She wants to be in pre-K like her sister." I don't know, but whatever it is, it's just not working. So maybe just come in to, I guess, help me in small group
Okay.
versus
Well,
whole group.
let's.
I think whole group goes well for the most part, but just trying to see what we could do for the bottom of the bunch. And sometimes it's nothing that we could do, but just see.
Well,
And I'm trying everything. Like I tried what I saw in Miss Adams' class. Like I liked the parent. Her class was quiet. She did not have to do much redirecting. It worked. It even worked in here. But like I said, some of these kids, they need your attention. Like they need my attention. So I don't know. But maybe
okay. So, what day next week would you like for me to come in to So I guess it'll probably be beneficial for me to observe your small group one day, not you, but observe the students to kind of get a feel for where their levels are. If you could go ahead this Friday when you all submit lesson plans, to kind of go ahead and send, well, they'll be on the drive, so I'll look at them so we can identify the skills of the week. And then I'll come in. Do you get the small group on Monday after your whole group?
I do.
Okay. So about what time do you start small groups on Mondays?
At 9, at 9. Yeah, about 9. Between 9 and 9:05.
Okay, so I'll come in Monday to observe the students in small group for about 15 minutes, and then I'll plan. And I of course debrief with you to see if my observations were correct and what did I, see with the students. And then on Wednesday I'll come in and model small groups for you. How does that sound?
That works.
All righty. Well, thank you for your time. And I'll send you a calendar invite for both of those activities. I can make sure it's on my calendar. So I'll come in Monday at 9 to observe, and then I'll come in to model Wednesday at 9 for
Okay.
small groups. Sound good?
Wednesday? Yeah, that's fine. Some of those kids, yeah, that's fine.
You sure? Is
Yeah.
that their gifted day?
Mm-hmm. And gifted and high potential. So I have a very small group on that day.
So would you like me to do it on Tuesday then? That's for Tuesday. Oh yeah, we could do it on Tuesday at 9. I know I have data meetings on Tuesdays, but I can just kind of do that remotely. And
Okay.
oh, you know what? It'll be fine because third through fifth grade, the schedules will be changed anyway for benchmark next week. So that's
Okay.
perfect. So I
Okay.
can come in on Tuesday at 9. That works absolutely perfectly. So I come in Monday at 9 to observe, and then Tuesday at 9 to model. So I'm gonna send those calendar invites now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.